What's going on, guys? I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be very important. We're going to review CME gaps for Bitcoin chart. Okay, we're going to look at the daily gaps, and it's going to be on this chart. Okay, I have already highlighted and it's going to go lower. I'm going to talk about all of them. Okay, and before we start the video, I want to let you know that I'm holding a lot of altcoins, so I do not want Bitcoin to go down. Okay, so I already moved on the lower prices, but I need to show you guys that this is the reason I was bearish all the time, because of all these gaps that we see on the way. Okay, we could not, I cannot, there is logic in market, and you cannot just ignore it. If you ignore it, you're going to pay the price. Okay, you can be always bullish, but you're going to have to be patient enough, or you're going to just risk it all and say, okay, even if we go down to 10,000, 12,000, whatever, I'm going to still hold on to it. I'll be fine. Okay, but in many cases, the altcoins you're holding, a lot of them goes to zero. Okay, because the business, you do not know what the team is doing. Anyways, let's not talk too much about that. But I just want to talk to you guys about lower prices later on. So make sure to watch the entire video. I'm going to talk about a lot of things. I'm going to talk about Ichimoku clouds, where we have still not filled some of the gaps that we see in lower prices, which some of them completely match with the prices that I see gaps around. Okay, the CME gap. So this shows the CME gap. This shows our Ichimoku gaps. Okay, and we're gonna review USDT dominance. Okay, and we're gonna talk about the next resistance level that I'm looking at. In my previous video, if you watched it, if you haven't, go ahead and watch it. It was a really good video. I said that if we go above this line, as long as we are below $63,000, I am not going to be bullish, because that's where we meet this resistance level, and at the same time it's going to be this level. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. So we're looking at, I'm going to make an arrow so I can explain it better here. Okay, anyways, it's going to be this line. I don't know, he does that all the time to me. But anyways, so we're going to look at this line. Okay, this line around $63,000 area. You guys see that we went above this level, where I talked about before, when the price was around this area. I said we can go up to almost $64,000 and we get rejected. And this worked as a fake out, because I had a line from here all the way down, and we went above it, same as what we've done in here. And I'm going to talk about how similar they can look, and how similar it looks like the last bull run we had, but in a bigger time frame. I'm going to zoom out and look at the weekly time frame, and it looks very similar. Okay, so right now, I'm going to be honest here, it looks bullish. Okay, so USDT, I told you guys, as long as we are above this yellow line, almost 5%, but this is the weekly candle has opened on 15th. So yesterday we opened this candle. So we can still go back down and still, get all those liquidity and start going higher. Okay, as long as if we close this candle red, as you guys see, same as what we did in here, and we started going lower, this is going to be very similar to what we saw in here. Okay, so we can still go back down to at least down to this level, or even lower. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're looking at, because this red candle, I showed you guys, this red candle and top of this and around here should hold USDT dominance, which USDT works the opposite. If it goes down, that is bullish, which you guys see that pump for BTC right now. Okay, so far USDT is looking bearish. Okay, but we have another one that I made this blue line around this previous red candle. Okay, and I said that, I mean, around this area, if we still hold around this, we might get a support and even close this candle as a green candle above this level. So we can still go back down. Okay, so that will be around this area. We might get a little bit of USDT getting out. I mean, getting out of USDT dominance and pump the altcoins, okay? Because this looks bullish. But the next resistance level I'm looking at is almost $66,000 area, okay? $66,000 to $67,000 area, where we had this rejection, and we had a lot of touches around that area. We had a lot of support, and we broke down, okay? So around $66,000 area I'm looking at, okay? We have gone above it, but it still can work like a fake out, where we got the same thing. We started getting above, which was a fake out, and I said, as long as we're not breaking above this level, we're gonna probably go back down, which we did, right? We got from $64,000, almost $10,000 down. Okay, so if you guys got into a trade based on what I said, I'm not saying none of these are financial advice. These are just for education, just to make you look at the charts differently than just all those people that are always bullish. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to manage your money. Okay, so right now we're broken above this level. I'm going to bring it up. We close this daily candle as bullish, so we might go up and down, or even go up to $67,000 area, which I see a lot of liquidity. And once we touch it, we might get a little bit of trouble. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out and I'm gonna go to CME gaps. These are very important. You need to watch all of it. Okay, I'm gonna go to weekly chart for this. Okay, so in the weekly chart, you guys can see something similar in here. Okay, we did not go quite up where we have so far for this. Okay, but you guys can see how similar they look. So if we look at this, imagine this is a daily. This is the daily chart. We have one wave up and then another one, and we had another weak one and started going down. Okay, so far I can see almost the same thing. Okay, looking like that. Okay, so I'm not saying this is going to exactly play out, but we can still go up to this level, get rejection, and start going lower. Okay, so it does not, we really went high really fast. And I told you guys, if you remember, I told you guys this is a good signal of buying opportunity, because every time we go to the lowest point for RSI, we get a good support and start going higher. Okay, so far I had this line and I made the clone of it and put it down here, which is this yellow line, and I said we can get this support. So far all of these that we have covered is playing out. Okay, now I'm going to talk about Ichimoku cloud first. Okay, so Ichimoku cloud, guys, as long as, okay, it works almost same as gaps. Okay, the candle gaps. Okay, I'm not looking at these gaps for the candle, but you guys see this red candle, the red Ichimoku cloud where it was not touched, which I have covered before, and you guys see a lot of volume around here. So usually price can be attracted around that level, and even this Ichimoku indicator shows that this area can be a very attractive area for price of Bitcoin, which is almost $43,000 down to even $42,000, $41,000 area. Okay, so but you guys see that we had the same thing around this area. We had a lot of we had this Ichimoku cloud where this is red and we have not still touched it. So we had this green. Sorry, it's hard to look. I was trying to turn it to black so we can just see it better, but I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. So you see that we have opened this Ichimoku cloud, but we have not broken through or touched it with any of these candles yet. Okay, so there's a chance of going up and down and just touch it somehow in several days, in the next several days. Okay, so we can still, once we get to this level, we can see a rejection, which we can get up to even 66,000, almost $67,000 area, which I just talked about. Okay, that will be the same level. I'm looking at all these rejection areas. Okay, the opportunity of rejection. There is not this. Let's talk about the CME gap. Okay, CME gap, there is a huge one, which I put the screenshot in post. So you guys make sure to subscribe and hit the notification anytime. Sometimes I'm not able to post any videos, but I put a screenshot of some indicator that shows you guys some signs of bearishness or bullishness for Bitcoin. You guys can see this clear gap in here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. We're going to look at each of these gaps individually, one by one, and look at how they are possible to be touched soon or later. Okay, so you guys can see this CME gap clearly. Okay, around this area, almost. If I want to look at the highest part, that's almost $60,900 area down to $58,000. Okay, so that's almost couple $1,000 gap in here. Okay, so we can still go up and down a little bit and start going lower to revisit this area, to cut that level, to grab that liquidity. Okay, there is another one. There's another one, which I do not see any other gap up here. Almost everything has been filled, okay, at least on the daily. If we go lower, we can look at those more. So this is what you need to not ignore, guys, okay? When we have a gap, usually price goes back to retouch that area, Okay, there is another one, okay, but I'm not even gonna mention. This is a small gap, but it can still be filled as long as when we have the closed candle and open another one, and we see a gap between them, that is an opportunity to be retouched. Okay, so there is another smaller one around $39,000 area where I'm gonna be zooming in more, where you can see it better. Okay, around this area. Okay. You guys can clearly see that gap. We had this gap before. Price, none of these candles touched it, but we went all the way up, grabbed that liquidity, and it went down and filled this gap, and it started rallying. But made another one which has not been filled yet. Okay, so that is another lower price for you, $39,000. Okay, one more. We're just gonna go down. It's gonna get worse. And I'm saying, don't just remember, I do not want any of these prices to be met anymore because I bought my altcoins. Well, I'm gonna get into more altcoins. It's gonna be better for you too, but we're just tired of waiting, right? So we're just gonna be like, okay, let's just go up from here and make our money, whatever we have already bought. Okay. There's another one around 31,500 ish. There's another gap. One more gap around 29,700. Okay, so that's why I just want to put one arrow, one in here, one in here. Okay, there is another one. Let me just make it smaller, it's too big. Okay, there is another one around this $26,000 areas, $27,000 area. Okay, which we have another one down here, $26,000 area. Okay, none of these have been filled. And I'm just saying that Bitcoin can go, and look at this beautiful gap in here, guys, right? I have talked about the Ichimoku cloud. We have another cloud around $20,000 to $21,000 area. So this candle, we had this red candle close, and we had another one. So there's almost 21,000, almost $1,000, more than $1,000 gap. Okay, so this is another gap for you. Okay. We have another one around $16,800 ish. Okay, so if you look at the other ones, they have already closed and just filled all the gaps that there were between them. Okay, but some of these have not still closed. Okay, I'm gonna go to lower prices. It's gonna get worse, but bear with me. Okay, there is another one around the price, the price that I told you guys about a long time ago as well, with which we have another Ichimoku cloud around this $9,000 area, which shows two indicators that we have still this gap and it can be filled. Okay, so two indicators, not just one. So Ichimoku cloud, which a lot of the traders use it all the time. Ichimoku clouds and CME futures gap, okay, for Bitcoin. And we have another one. If I make a line here, I hope that is going to make that line. But if you guys make this line right here, it's hard. It doesn't work. Around almost 9,600, 9,700 area. Okay, we went down. We went all the way up. We had this gap, but we went low, not as low as that it will be filling this gap. Okay, so almost $9,600, $9,700 area has another gap. What we're gonna see, okay, I'm gonna show why I'm not finding any gaps in here. Because if you look at all these candles, there's just no candle that you can find that after the other one closed and the other one opened, we do not see any gaps in between them. Since the last Corona or COVID crash, okay, we started rallying, but 9,700, we have that gap. And the lowest point where I find another one will be almost 3,500 area, which I'm not saying we're going to go that low, at least for this cycle. But you guys see that as long as we have gaps like this, it has to be filled somehow. Okay, so there's another one. These are the warnings for you, and a lot of you guys think that I'm just negative, but I'm saying I'm holding altcoins. I would love Bitcoin to just start going higher. I don't have to worry about it, but I have to consider this, and I'm sharing this with you. Okay, so because I'm sharing this with you, please hit the like. That just takes you 1 second. It does not cost you anything, but it's helping me to push this video. What I'm showing you, and I'm not lying about it, this is just if you just look at it and just think about it, you can see that all these gaps are still there. okay? Which I already showed you the Ichimoku cloud. I don't want to talk about it a lot more since I have covered a lot of it before. But we have still some gaps around $20,000 area, and we have another one around $8,000, which is around this area. We have another indicator that shows almost 8,700 area, which we can go as low as this much, okay? So this is another video. Well, let me still, well, I already covered this USDT dominance. So it looks bullish for now, but we need to see how this weekly candle is going to close. And if it closes like this, very bearish, same as what it did, and we started going even lower, I'm expecting to go down to almost 4.5% at least to retouch this area. Okay, that's going to be a really good pump for Bitcoin. But so far, I'm going to go back to this. I'm expecting to $66,000-$67,000 area to be a really good resistance level. Okay, and I just showed you guys how similar it looks with the weekly candle that we just kind of compared that how Bitcoin kind of faked out and it did not go any higher than this area. Let me see here. So a lot of people were expecting to still go go higher and make another all-time high, but we got rejected around this area and it started crashing. Okay, so far this looks kind of similar. So we can still go up and just go sideways for a while and start going lower. Okay, this is just another video. It was a very important video. Please consider everything that I told you guys, but do not trade based on what I'm saying. Just consider it for yourself. Do your own research and comment down below. And please like the video right now. Thank you so much for your last support. I got more views and subscribers. Thank you so much for supporting, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.